All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you. We just crossed 6,000 subscribers, less than 6 months. That's awesome, all because of you. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, comment, subscribe, and doing all that good stuff. But as you see, we are here at my favorite place, the ranch, hopefully your favorite place. So today we have something special. And you just have to ask yourself, what's better than one gun? It's two guns. And that's what we got here today. And this is essentially a tribute, an ode to all the M&P boys, the M&P gang, stand up, that cult-like following. I think they finally got what they wanted. And guess what? I might have been converted. If you talk to any M&P person, you know, they've always wanted a steel frame version of it. And Smith and Wesson did just that. They produced two steel frame versions of their tried and true M&P 2.0. I've always been interested in the 2.0s, but you know, I get another polymer frame gun. I don't know. You know, I got a bunch of Glocks, I got a bunch of Walthers. I don't know if I just want another polymer framed gun. But then they released the M&P 2.0 HD, or the metal version, right? These are steel framed M&P 2.0s. You know, there's a bunch of pros, a few cons, which we'll get into here in a second, but mostly pros. And I do think maybe I've been converted. Maybe I'm an M&P boy now. Maybe me and Hunter Constantine need to go out for lunch or dinner or something like that. Hell, I already wear his belt. That's talking about wearing another man's clothes. That's kind of a little bit of suspect. But anyway, we're going to discuss these two pistols, go over the differences, and then we're going to do what we came here to do. We're going to go shoot a little bit. All right, guys, let's break down both of these pistols. Like I said earlier, these are both Smith and Wesson M&P 2.0. Now, the biggest difference in marketing and which pistol may be for you, the competitor is just what it sounds like. It's marketed as a competitive competition pistol, whereas the HD is really marketed for duty use, self-defense, you know, home defense, any of that kind of stuff. However, what you'll see is the performance you get out of this almost rivals some of this, but there are some differences and we'll get into them. All right, so let's first talk about the similarities. Both of these, like I said, are 5-inch pistols. They're striker fired weapons, and they have a steel frame to complement the whole pistol. Now, both of these pistols, you know, the frames are really, really similar. Looking at this, they both come with 4 separate palm swells, from like extra large all the way down to small, that you can change the interchangeable back straps. And the texturing on both of these are pretty much the same. So you do get the texturing on the actual palm swell, but then you get a little bit of this engraved texturing in between each of the polymer pieces on the steel frame. Now, both of these triggers have the flat-faced M&P 2.0 triggers, and I went for the no thumb safety variants for both of these weapons. Now, let's kind of get into the differences. Let's first start with the competitor HD. And the first thing that you notice with the competitor is the slide cuts. What you're gonna get is a reduced slide mass, and essentially what this gun allows you to do is to run it a little bit faster. Less mass up here allows it to cycle a little bit better, so you get more of a race gun feeling. And then also with the barrel, you see that the barrel is a little bit fluted. That has not come standard on the HD version, but again, these are some of the upgrades you get with the competitor. Now, continuing to look at the differences, if you look at the magazine release of the competitor, you see that it is enlarged, and that is something we'll talk about here in a second. But this enlarged mag release, you know, obviously good for competition. You're trying to do those mag reloads. That's awesome. Also with this competitor version, it comes with a built-in mag well. The M&P HD did not come with that. We'll talk about what I have on here in a second, but this comes standard. This comes with 4 17-round magazines, whereas the HD just came with 2 17-round magazines. And something that I failed to mention, like a similarity between both of the pistols earlier, is that these are both optic cut. You know, Smith & Wesson has their own style of mounting the optics. We'll get into how I changed that a little bit, but yes, both of these are, you know, optics cut, so you can put whatever optic you want to run on top of these things. All right, now let's look into the HD and highlight some of the differences and changes I've done to this. The magwell does not come pre-installed, nor do you get a mag release. So what have I done with this? Floyd Custom Shop, I have taken their magwell and I used their base pads on the magazines for the HD. Makes it very easy to reload, even though I'm terrible at that. It makes it better. It makes me suck less at it. Man, my phrasing today, boy. Yeah, if you look at the magazines here, these are, I believe, a +5 on the 17-round magazine. So now I got 23 in here. Now, one thing that I did to both of these pistols is change the optics mounting solution. And one of the cons with this pistol, something that I didn't really like, is the mounting solution for red dots. When you get both of these pistols, you get these like plastic plates, you get a whole bunch of them, and then you find out which one fits your optic, and it just kind of screws on there. I don't really like that. So I went to a company that I use for my Glocks, Forward Control Designs, and they make a metal optics plate. I bought that for the M&P 2.0, fits just perfectly. And on both of these, I have a Hollow Sun 507 comp mounted, and it seems they're holding up pretty well. Forward Control Designs has worked well for me on all my Glocks and my PDPs, now that I think about it. And now I got them on Smith and Wesson, so I like that. So now that we've kind of gone over the similarities and the differences, I'm going to go over a few cons, the things that I don't really like about the both of these pistols. The first one would be that optics mounting solution. We just talked about that, so I won't hit that again. The second one is something I didn't know I didn't like until I had both of these pistols. So, little backstory, I got this one first, was practicing shooting with this one, had no issues with what I'm about to talk about. But then when I got the competitor, started dry firing and shooting, doing reloads, I noticed just how much I like this extended mag release. When I went back to the HD, not having that extended mag release all of a sudden became a negative. So if I had never gotten this pistol, it wouldn't be a negative, but now that I have the competitor, I wish the HD came with an extended mag release. This one is a little bit more flush, and it's not the best, but it's obviously not terrible. I didn't know I didn't like it until I got that. And really the last and only thing I do not favor about this pistol is the trigger. First off, it's worlds better than a Glock trigger. That's not really saying much. Pretty much everything's better than a Glock trigger, but I got spoiled with my PDPs. My PDP Pro triggers are fantastic. I think are the best striker fire triggers in the game right now. All you Canic people, I know you're gonna chime in and say, what about the Canic? You're just wrong. All right, I'm just messing with you. But in my opinion, the PDP trigger is the best trigger. This one, while better than a Glock, it is substantially not as good as my PDP trigger. And let me show you what I mean by that. On both of these triggers, you see there's a lot of uptake right here, a lot of movement in the trigger. When you get to the wall, it is a nice firm wall. That's good. Reset, it's fine. It's not too bad. But again, the biggest portion of the trigger I don't like is all this play that you have in the beginning. It's different than my PDPs, which I think are the best. So it falls short of the PDP. World's better than a Glock. Is it a bad trigger? No, but could it be improved? I think so. Maybe, down the line, I'll go to what they call it, the Apex triggers that they say are really good on these. We'll put on that. But I'm gonna just try and shoot and get good with this. And then if I upgrade the trigger, I'll, just even be better. But yeah, those are the things, I don't like as much about the pistol. But other than that, these are both fantastic guns. And now it's time to go out here and shoot them. I'm up here running my suck enough. I think it's time to go have some fun and show you kind of how each of these perform and which one's different, maybe which one you'd like. So let's go shoot now. All right, let's go. All right, guys, first thing I want to do with this test or with this range day is look at the accuracy. Now, usually if I'm testing accuracy, I'll like bench rest it, but I want the practical accuracy. I want to see which one I am more accurate with, not just which one is more accurate, if that makes sense. So I'm at 15 yards. I'm gonna shoot a 5-round group with each, and then we'll go look at the hits and see how accurate I can be with each one. All right, let's start with the HD, the heavy duty, and then we'll move on to that new booty. I'm a terrible rapper. All right. Let's go look at those hits. All right, we can see the 5 rounds. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one right here was my either third or fourth shot. My grip was slipping, so that one's 100% on me. But these 4 right here are pretty decent. So we're at 15 yards, and that's like not even half a fist. So I'll take that. That's pretty accurate. Let's look at what the competitor can do. All right, so I was okay with the accuracy on that one. Now 5 rounds with the competitor, 15 yards. All right, let's go look. Cool. So here are the hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Honestly, I probably just need to adjust the dot a little bit more, but these 4 right here are a little bit tighter than the HD was. This one's a little bit of a flyer. Again, that's me, but we're gonna work on it. But yeah, I think both are pretty accurate, accurate enough for me. So if I miss, it's not because the gun's bad, it's because I'm bad, per usual. All right, so the next drill we are going to do is a drill called doubles. The way this works, I'm at 7 yards and I'm gonna shoot 8 rounds of doubles. Essentially, I'm gonna shoot 16 rounds out of each. And what I'm looking at for this is the fact that, hey, if you look on the competitor, has these slides cuts, has a reduced slide mass. I wanna see if the gun cycles faster, right? So if I can get faster splits with my competitor versus the HD model, all right? First, we will go with the HD model and then go with the competitor, see how it goes. Now looking at the grip splits, I'm essentially averaging 2.3, 1.9. All right, so my fastest split on that first round of doubles with the HD was a 1.8, which is not really fast, but we'll see if we can do it better. Again, on this second run, I should have enough rounds. A 1.7, a 1.8, a 1.9, a 1.9. Obviously, I can work, I need some improvement on that in general, but let's try with the competitor. All right, competitor doubles. All right, that first split was a 2.1, a 1.8, a 1.7, and a 1.7. A 1.8, a 1.6, there we go. A 1.7, a 1.6, all right? So, with this gun, I was able to get a 1.6 a couple times. Now, the fastest on this was a 1.7. So, yes, I do think the reduced slide cuts in this do make a difference. Somebody who is a higher level shooter than me will probably be able to tell better than I can. But even at my level, my rookie level of shooting, I do feel that this gun is a little bit more racier, right? I can run it just a tad bit faster than I can this one. Now, just my skill level in general is not gonna make me run it super fast, so take that into account. But again, this one did feel a little bit more racy, if you will. I could run a little bit faster, and you saw the times on that. But let's do something else. Let's do a different drill. All right, y'all, the next drill we are going to do is the MXAD drill, and I think that was made by Matt Pranka. So what I have here is I have a target at 5 yards, and I have one at 12 yards. I'm gonna go 4 rounds to this first target, 2 rounds to the far target. We're gonna score for hit factor and see which one I do better with. You know, something I did notice with this gun, I'm probably gonna have to add some goon tape to it. Something, as it gets hot out and my hands start to sweat, this polymer backstrap right here is it gets slick. So we'll just, you know, keep that in mind. That was pretty slow. All right, so 4 alphas and Charlie Delta. And that was a 303. 321, 2 alphas, 2 Charlies, 2 Charlies, and a 321. 4 alphas and a 2 Charlies in the back. 346. All right, so in general, let me just take the gun out of the equation. My shooting at distance needs a lot of work. Up close, it's easy, but I wanna go fast and far at the same time. Let's run the same drill with the HD now. That was a 333, 4 alphas, and an alpha Charlie. Now, something I do have to, take into account is now I'm a little bit more warmed up. The drill now with the second pistol might be better just because I'm more used to shooting the drill. Take that into account, but yeah. 4 alphas, 2 Charlies in the back. All right, one more time with the H Dizzle. 3 alphas, 1 Charlie, and then Alpha Charlie in the back. Not too bad, and that was a 316. My first shots with both pistols are averaging about a 132-ish, so I can speed that up, but that's just dry fire. Let's do another drill. Final drill of the day. So we're gonna do what's called the El Presidente or El Pres drill. I'm at 7 yards. I will start facing uprange on the beep, turn around, 2 rounds each target, reload, 2 rounds each target. And for this time, I'm gonna see which one I run better, but I'll alternate. I'll do one with the HD and then I'll do one with the competitor and see which times I get better if there's any difference. First run with the competitor. All right, now that was pretty slow. 751, 4 alphas, 4 alphas, 4 alphas, which is good. I got my hits, but let's speed up. Let's try it with the HD and see if I can go faster. All right, that was a 672. 3 alphas, 1 Charlie. 4 alphas, 2 Charlies. All right, last time with the competitor, and then do it one more time with HD, and we'll call it a day. Didn't see it down the last. Oh, drop the reload. That's gonna slow me down. Oh man, that was not good. Messed the drill up. You can't compare pistols if you don't do the drill right, but I got 4 alphas, 3 alphas in the Charlie, and 3 alphas in the Charlie. And that was a 1037, yikes. Yikes. All right, one more time with the HD and we'll call it. All right, last time's a charm. If any of y'all ever play basketball, you never leave the gym on a miss, so let's try not to miss. All right. Ooh, that felt good. 629, hey. 4 alphas, and 3 alphas and a delta. So that wasn't too great, but hey, not too bad. I'm not, if I said myself. But yeah, A, 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 A. I mean, both of these guns are fantastic. You're not really gonna go wrong with either one, but let's go back and let's talk about them and finish this video up. All right, guys, let's wrap this video up. First thing I wanna say, because I didn't say it earlier, I bought both of these pistols on my own accord. Smith and Wesson, they do not know I exist. So these are all my opinions. These are just the way I feel about the guns. But guys, all in all, I love both of these guns. If I had to pick one, I would probably pick the competitor, just because I said in earlier videos, I want to be more of a shooter than just a collector. And this is a gun that, I mean, it's going to be in the contention for me to shoot competitions with. So I really do love the competitor. I love the slide cuts. I love the fluted barrel. I love everything about this firearm. And, you know, that's not to say I don't love this one too. I like this guy too, just as much. And actually, I think I do like the Magwell from Floyd Custom Shop a little bit better than the stock one. So I'm gonna keep dry firing, keep practicing with this one. And if I feel like I need to, I might actually change this Magwell out. Other than that, that's probably the only change I'll make to either of these weapons. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today. You guys get in the comments. Let me know. All the M&P boys out there, get in the comments, sound off. Let me know what you like best about the M&P 2.0 in general, or if you have a steel frame, because I do love these pistols. Get in the comments. Let me know. Tell me if I'm good. Tell me if I suck. It doesn't matter. Either way, I still love you. That's the end of the video. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.